Hey, what's up you guys, BlackwingKei here with another Genshin Impact video. Well, kinda, sorta. This will be version 2.1 predictions and basically expectations of what to expect in the live stream that is literally less than 24 hours from now as I'm recording this video. Yeah, let's get over some quick obvious mentions of what to expect in the version 2.1 live stream that will be happening tomorrow. So, a couple of obvious mentions are the new banners in 2.1, the new events we'll be getting in 2.1, and then obviously the new Archon quest, plus the new islands, the map expansion for exploring the rest of Inazuma. Those are the obvious mentions that I want to get out the way first because, I mean, they're obviously going to show that. They're going to show the next two characters coming up. They're going to show the new events. They always do that. And they're most likely going to show the trailer, which will include what's going to happen next in the story of continuing the Archon quest. So let's quickly go over the 2.1 banners that will be coming up. What are we to expect to see? Now, given by how the story is going, there's two characters we've seen that are new. Obviously, the Electro Archon. We also saw Yae Miko, but we didn't get to see much of her. We only saw her in Act 1 of Chapter 2, right? But the one we actually did see a bit more of was Kokomi, Sangonomiya Kokomi. So it's kind of like, it's either or one of those two, but I have a feeling that because the story is moving more towards now the revolution, the rebellion, the Sangonomiya forces, I believe that Sangonomiya Kokomi will be one of the next characters in the banner. I'm unsure of the Electro Archon, but I'm actually looking forward to seeing the Electro Archon's banner actually coming up in the next version, and it would be appropriate to actually appear in the 2.1 banners, version 2.1, because of what's coming up in this next version as well, or what's expected to come in version 2.1. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly in which order, but we are to expect at least the Electro Archon or Sangonomiya Kokomi in version 2.1, or both of them. It could be both of them. I don't think we're gonna get Yae Miko. I don't think we're gonna get, well, that's pretty much all the 5-star characters. I think they are 5-star characters. Electro Archon, obviously. Kokomi is obviously a 5-star. And Yae Miko is obviously a 5-star. That leaves Kujo Sara to be a 4-star, most likely. Sayu, we already know she's a 4-star. And then there is Toma. I still have nothing on Toma, but he's most likely a 4-star as well. Let's be real here. Now, I can't really make any predictions on the 4-star characters that will be on the 5-star character banners. All I care about is really the 5-star characters. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't care who's gonna be in that banner. They could put Bennett in there. They could put Fischl. The one character I do care about is Kujo Sara, and she will most definitely be in the Electro Archon's banner. I mean, she has to be. If she's a 4-star character, she has to be with the Electro Archon because she is like the secretary to Baal, the Electro Archon, the Raiden Shogun. As for Sangonomiya Kokomi's banner, it'll most likely have to be Goto, the 4-star character for that banner. I completely forgot about Goto, by the way. I was talking about all the new characters upcoming. Totally forgot about Goto. Again, the rest of the 4-stars, I don't care who they are because most of my 4-star characters are already C6 or C5 at most. So Goto will most likely be in the Sangonomiya Kokomi banner because it's going to mirror almost exactly the Electro Archon's banner. Electro Archon, her secretary. Sangonomiya Kokomi, her general, I guess you would say. So, you know, it's perfect mirror image right there. 2 banners, 2 5-stars, 2 4-stars directly under that 5-star related to each other, right? That would make the most sense. But then it wouldn't, you know, it's interesting we didn't get Toma. We're not sure yet where his character is going to go in the story because we did not get Toma in Ayaka's banner. Ayaka is the leader, you know, well, Ayato is actually the one in charge of the Kamisato clan, but Ayaka is just as important as Ayato. But Toma directly works under Ayaka, so it would have been nice to have Toma in her banner, but it looks like, I'm not sure what kind of future Toma will have in the story so far. And of course, he is a mysterious character, like they keep saying. Maybe Yae Miko. Maybe Toma will be in the Yae Miko banner. It could happen, we don't know. That's about it on the character banners for 2.1 that I'm really expecting to see in version 2.1. Now, there's one other interesting thing I wanted to point out regarding character banners when they do come out. But I do want to make another video about that so I can have more, you know, more time to actually delve deeper into this and what to expect in the future of characters that are coming out. In this case specifically with the Electro Archon, because we're in direct conflict with the Electro Archon. They're not our friend. That's where I want to leave. That's just a little tease at the next video to come out. So right after this one, expect to see another video talking about future characters coming out and how exactly they will be incorporated into joining our party, or how we can pull for them, because there's something I noticed and I want you guys to pay attention to that. But yeah, let's move on. All right, now we move on to the new events. I honestly don't know what they're gonna bring out for the new events, but every version update we will get some story or some kind of event related story or anything else really, but events are always the key part of Genshin Impact, really, in every version update, no matter how big or small, because with events we get extra rewards, we can get crowns, sometimes even get free 4-star characters. Recently it was Beidou, I believe before Beidou was, if I'm not mistaken, Diona, and before Diona I don't remember if it was official from the official event. So every now and then we get these events where we get a free character and whatnot, and then there's just other off events where we just get extra rewards, experience, Primo gems, Mora, you name it. We get a lot of cool stuff during these events, so there's not much I have to say on the events. That's why this is an obvious mention, because it's obvious we're gonna get new events in 2.1. It's been a thing since last year, so we can expect to see some probably cool events, maybe something I'm gonna be excited about. Who knows, maybe they'll bring back the Wind Trace event, Inazuma edition. Oh man, that'd actually be pretty dope. I actually do miss the Wind Trace for what it was. But I wish they could do the gameplay a little bit differently, as not something that you would just ditch. Wind Trace is like one of those games I actually wanted to keep, but like most people say, like after you get all the rewards, there's like no point in doing it anymore. Except if you want to like just play around with your friends and whatnot, have fun. But then again, that dies down, because then there's like not really much to it. You're just having fun and that's it. You're no longer getting any rewards. There's nothing else to get out of it. So I wish they would make it in a way that it still helps out players just continue doing it for fun. Maybe getting a little bit of Mora each time, but then, farming Mora that way would not be like the best or ideal way, but a little something, right? But that's just what I'm thinking out of my head. Don't worry about that. So that's it for events. Expect new events, obvious. Right now, for the final part of the obvious mentions is the new Archon quest and the expansion of the Inazuma map. Now, at the beginning, I believe it was during 1.5 and 1.6, we actually got a rundown of all the islands that we were to expect to see. It was basically just like images, artwork, and screenshots of the islands we're to expect to see in Inazuma. So the first part only released 3 islands. So I'm assuming the next part will finally release the rest of the islands. And, we're still missing Watatsumi Island, I forget the island's name, Surumi Island, is it? Is it Surumi Island? The one with the big, floating purple tempest above the sky that we can see in the distance. We can already see this island at a distance, we just can't go there yet. But, yeah, so we're gonna see the new islands come out, most definitely gonna happen for 2.1. I see no reason to keep us from exploring that until a future version update. Literally Act 2 left off where we're gonna go to Watatsumi Island, so that at least confirms Watatsumi Island is next, but it'll be best to just release the rest of the map in 2.1. Let us explore. Depends again how many acts we're gonna do for this part. I am predicting that Inazuma's storyline will end in either 2.2 or 2.3. Now 2.3 might be pushing it a little bit, because if I'm not mistaken, and this is if they don't change like how the banners have been going, where it's basically 20 days per banner, if this continues, version 2.3 is expected to go from November basically to the end of November is what I'm trying to say. That's version 2.3, so that will be kind of pushing it, but it would also fall nicely to how basically chapter 1 ended. Chapter 1, the Liyue story, because chapter 1 actually continued until the Dainsleif Archon quest, and that's where we kind of left it off until we hit the chapter 2 prologue. So it would fall nicely that a year later, chapter 2 Inazuma storyline would conclude in version 2.3 by the end of November, and then December starts in a few more weeks with version 2.4. But I feel personally that it would be pushing it too much. I don't want to don't make the story too much filler where you end off the Archon quest, the Inazuma storyline like that. But if it's all good stuff, if it's all action and a story that keeps you immersed, that's the word I'm trying to look for. If it keeps you immersed in the story, then that is fine. But I feel like, we've had so much filler content, and I'll admit that too. While I did have my fair share of fun, a lot of that stuff was filler after 1.1. We got 1.2. Dragonspine was a big expansion for that time. The Lantern Rite, I personally enjoyed that because I love Liyue. I love Liyue Harbor, and I love how the people just interact there, how, about family, business, and whatnot. So I really love the whole vibe of the Lantern Ride, so I didn't mind it that much. Then we got the Windbloom Festival in Mondstadt. Mondstadt I don't really care too much about, but it was definitely very fun. A very fun event we got there. 1.5, I don't really remember what the big thing in 1.5 was. I think it was the Dainsleif. We will be reunited, right? That was 1.5. 1.6 was the Archipelago, Golden Apple Archipelago, basically prequel to Inazuma, because, you know, we got to explore some islands on a boat, and Inazuma is a bunch of islands. You got the boat back and whatnot, so yeah. So that was basically a quick rundown of what we've been through from version 1.1 to now, but again, that stuff was a lot of filler because it didn't really progress the story that much. It teased you here and there just a little bit until 1.5 came, and finally, you know, we got to be reunited with our twin, and we found out that finally, yes, our twin is working with the Abyss, and Dainsleif went into the portal as well. I hope Dainsleif's okay. Maybe in 2.0 series, we're going to find out more about what happened to Dainsleif, more movements about the Abyss, maybe a new Abyss General that comes out. We have the Herald, we have the Lector, so there's a lot to expect here in the version 2.0 line after the Inazuma storyline concludes, that is. So yeah, again, this was all basically the obvious mentions of what to expect in the version 2.1 trailer. Now we're moving on to uncharted territory. This is really where I want to talk about. What are we really to expect, or what's going to be changing up, right? So the first one we want to talk about is how exactly will the live stream be presented this time around? Will we have the voice actors cast in doing, you know, the whole presentation like they've been doing it since 1.2? I believe version 1.2 was the first time they did it with the voice actors. 1.0 had no live stream presenting it because 1.0 is when the game came out. 1.1, however, if you look back, I'll probably have a clip playing right now for you, exactly when they were talking about 1.1, it was miHoYo themselves actually doing the presentation. And I remember they had like this whole set, very nicely decorated with Zhongli in the background. Well, not, you know, Rex Lapis' statue there, and it was very nice. It looked very nice. I never saw it completely myself because at that time I was still, I think I was still not even through the Liyue story. I was still playing when 1.1 came out. I was not done with the game at that time. That was like early November, right? Tartaglia and Zhongli banner, when they came out, right before 1.2. I caught up to the story right before version 1.2 had come out, so it was really just in time when I was playing it. So my question is, how exactly is this live going to be presented? Now, we got the announcement just a while ago that it's going to be on Twitch again at 9 a.m. So I'm thinking, is it going to be just like last time? Is miHoYo going to be presenting it themselves again? Because I don't know, it's always so tricky. I never find out like who's gonna do it. I wish they would tell us in advance, like, oh yes, the live stream is coming up on this date and these voice actors are gonna be here, or maybe tell us like the obvious ones, like Paimon's voice actor and the main character's voice actor will be doing it, and then some surprise guest that we'll find out when we, you know, get there. Like, oh, we have Yae Miko's voice actress, we have the Electro Archon here, and I'm like, what? Oh my god, a live stream with the Electro Archon? That would be pretty amazing. But you know, I wish they would tell us more information. But the way they're presenting it, I think it's going to be miHoYo again. Dawei's probably gonna come back. Dawei with the sauce, yo, legend. Yo, imagine we would get Yu Pen Chung again. I don't think he'll come back, but you know, Dawei maybe, if this presentation is gonna be like that. Again, I don't think it's going to be the English cast again with the Chinese cast as well in the morning presentation. So that's just, you know, my thoughts. I don't think we're getting the voice actors to be doing the live stream again. I think it's going to be miHoYo. The other topic I wanted to talk about is the anniversary. Now, version 2.1 is actually going to line up with the 1-year anniversary of Genshin Impact. As we all know, Genshin Impact was released worldwide, officially, for the public, not closed beta tester, not, you know, some beta game, alpha game, gamma game, no. The game officially released September 26, 2020, so that was a year ago, and version 2.1, according to my book here with all the dates written out, version 2.1 will go from September 1st to October 12th. So basically version 2.1 is going to lap over when the game first came out, where version 1.0 of Genshin Impact came out. September 26th is going to fall directly in version 2.1. So it's going to be in the second half of 2.1 though, so the second banner. So I'm really not sure what to expect on the anniversary, I'll be honest with you. I just wanted to bring up that there might be some special commemoration event, I'm not sure. but there is at least something special to expect. I've heard from other players already, from like, you know, Tectone, Sekapoko. I've already seen videos of them talking about that because they have more experience. That's the next thing I wanted to like segue into. They have more experience in regards to gacha games and how the anniversaries work. Genshin Impact is actually my first game that I'm experiencing in full like this. That is a gacha game. Now, I've played other gacha games in the past before, but never really made it past like 3 months or 6 months into the game. So just to throw you a couple of examples of gacha games I have played before, so I know about the system of a gacha game, and I know about like the stamina system they usually have, but I never went far in those games. Fire Emblem Heroes is a gacha game. I played that a lot when I was at work, but I think after 2 months I just stopped. Like, eventually the enemies got a bit difficult, and you know, obviously, you know, you have to be more strategic in your placements of your units to be able to get the advantage, but eventually I just hit this kind of like difficulty spike and I couldn't progress in the game. I wanted to continue with the story. There were updates coming out, but I just decided, you know what, it's not for me. As much as I love Fire Emblem, it wasn't for me. Another game that I was actually playing, I think a bit after that, was Senran Kagura New Link, Shinobi Masters New Link, which is only in Japanese. Japanese exclusive mobile game that is a gacha game, and I'm a huge lover of Senran Kagura. This one I stopped. I was actually keeping up with it, and I was actually paying a little bit of money on it. So I'm being honest here, but I couldn't understand the thing. I was relying mostly online with translators of how to play the game, and eventually, you know, you get the hang of it. Even though you can't read a thing, you can't understand the thing, you get the hang of it. So I was playing Senran Kagura, and eventually I kind of just stopped. For a while, I was getting really busy at work, so I couldn't really play too much. Something happened where I lost my account, and I could never get it back. And I invested so much money into it, so time and time again, I tried to talk to the customer service to see if they could help me get my account back. They said it was tied to a Facebook or email account, and I could never figure out which one it was, and, you know, eventually I just gave up. I'm like, I'm not gonna go back into the game. I think that game is on, like, its 3rd year, because... third year, right? Because it was I want to say it was 2017 that it came out, December 2017. So 2018, 19, 20. So I think it's gonna go on its 4th year anniversary pretty soon. So I missed out on that. I was very close. I was very close to hitting 1 year anniversary, but I think it was 6 months into the game. I stopped playing for some time, lost my account, never went back. I'm not sure if there were other games that I played. The last one on this list is going to be AFK Arena. Now, I don't know how many of you have experience with this game, but it's been advertised to infinity on Facebook and everywhere you went to, even on YouTube at one point. And you know, I got so tired of seeing the ad, and I said, you know what, let me see what this game is about. AFK Arena. The concept was pretty cool. You basically play, you know, you do your thing, you get enough characters and whatnot, you put the phone down, and the game is playing itself, and you get your rewards still. Like, you know, I guess the money system in the game, you would get some rewards to level up characters, I guess. I don't really remember too much about AFK Arena, but I was really intrigued by the concept. Now, I'll admit, I also spent some money in that game. Not the most proud purchases, I would say. Now, that game felt very predatory to me, because it's very different. So it's a stamina system as well. There's really not much you could do once you hit that stamina wall. There's like nothing you can do. Unlike in Genshin Impact, where, you know, you have no more resin. What else can you do? Explore, farm other stuff, open chests, you know, do a lot of things that don't require resin. Resin is just basically artifacts, talent materials, or whatever else you need that require resin, right? So you can still do a lot more without just having to rely on the resin system in Genshin Impact. Another thing that really hit me hard in AFK Arena was really that whole difficulty spike. So at first, you know, you're having a good time playing the game, like, oh yeah, this is easy, beat up these bosses, do this and that, and then I'm getting, you know, a week in. Was it even a week in? No, it was like 2 days in. 2 days in, I was suddenly hit with this difficulty spike where my characters needed to be stronger. In order to get them stronger, I needed certain stuff. But to get that certain stuff, you get it faster by paying money. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll drop 50 bucks. Yeah, I'll drop 50 bucks. I need to make this character stronger to get there. I beat them, then I hit the next difficulty wall, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to spend another 50, maybe another 100. Yeah, let me spend the 100, so I don't have to keep spending that much money, right? Let me put $100 in, and I put $100 in. I'm able to beat that enemy. Then again, I'm hit with another difficulty spike, and I'm like, yo, what the heck is going on? Eventually, I just like slept through it in one night, and I never went back to AFK Arena. I did not have a good experience in that game. That one, oh my god, and I still see it advertised time and time again. The characters are cool, the design is interesting, but it's just, it was too predatory for me. Like, if I was willing to drop that money that easily and still feel like I couldn't progress and I couldn't grow in the game, then that's something wrong. There's something wrong there. That's pretty much my overall thoughts and my experience so far with gacha gaming and history, like my gaming history with gacha. Now, Genshin Impact changed that. Now, I did understand when I went into this game and I knew it was a gacha right away. There was no like if, ands, or buts or any mysteries, any like strings attached, like people would say, like, oh, you play this beautiful game, but it's like, oh, gotcha. You have to pay some money to do this and that. So, you know, throughout the beginning of the game, I didn't really know too much. So, you know, not spending resin was like a thing for me. Like, I didn't really care about that. I was like, oh, 160 out of 160. Some seasoned players would actually come and watch this and say like, hey, wait a minute, what are you doing? Your resin is capping. I'm in pain. Why is your resin capping? Spend it. Do something with that resin. It hurts to see your resin capped. And I'm like, bro, chill out. I'm still like doing the story. I'm still doing other things. Like, don't worry about this, you know. I eventually did do a second playthrough and managed to, you know, do little things that I could do at the time to spend resin, like bosses. Early game, the only thing I could do to spend the resin was just fight bosses, preparing to level up characters in the future. Now that I know in advance what I do have to do, but in my first playthrough, it was just basically exploration, opening chests, doing every bit of story I could do, and just trying to 100% like the map and everything, you know what I mean? So there wasn't really much I was doing, and the resin was non-existent to me. That's really all I wanted to bring to you, so I'm really excited about the anniversary of what Genshin Impact has to bring to us. And honestly, I can't say that my expectations are super high or super low. I honestly don't know what to say. Again, this will officially be my first time experiencing a 1-year anniversary in a gacha game. I am completely new to this. Again, I've seen a lot of seasoned players talking about, you know, expect something big, or even players warning other people like, yo, watch out, because in the anniversary, that's where they really get you. They're going to try to trap you. They're going to try to be very predatory when it comes to that. I really don't know. I really don't know what to expect. So unfortunately, I can't tell you much on that because I've never experienced it myself. So this will be my very first time. Once we do see the details of what to expect in the version 2.1, if they do talk about this in the live stream, because I'm not really sure. Like, that's why I put this in the second part of this video, where it's not an obvious mention, because I don't know if they will include this in the anniversary. Now, people have been sneaky to be talking about this with the voice actors, like Paimon's voice actor, for example. Some people were talking about like, hey, so do you know anything about the anniversary that's gonna happen in version 2.1? And she's like, excuse me? So, you know, their mods right away put the NDA, you know, like, even if they're working with the game, they don't know what's coming up, they're still under, you know, non-disclosure agreement. They can't really talk about this stuff. So honestly, you'd have to be some kind of idiot to go into like a live streamer that is a voice actor in the game, telling them like, yo, so when does your character die? Do you know if you die in the game? Like, can you tell me something? Tell me the spoilers. I want to know so I can ruin the experience for everyone else, you know, some type of thing like that. So people are expecting an anniversary, and I understand that people are excited to just bring this up, especially if you know somebody that's like, you know, in the game, they voice act the game, they must know something. Like, yo, so can you tell me anything, please? Like, just a little bit, feed me. I'm starving here. I'm starving for attention and the information. So, you know, it'd be like that sometimes. You know, it is what it is. So again, that was pretty much it. My experience with gacha gaming and what to expect on the anniversary. Maybe big things. I don't know what really Genshin Impact. I don't know what MiHoYo is going to bring up. Maybe some people that have played Honkai Impact. I've yet to play Honkai Impact. And I know they've recently had, I think, their 3rd year anniversary earlier this year. And a big controversy around that. But, you know, I don't play the game, so I didn't really catch wind of that until it happened, and a lot of people were talking about it online. MiHoYo getting a lot of hate for no reason. You know, it was what it was. So maybe the Honkai players can fill us in as to what to expect. Like, look, MiHoYo has been doing this for quite some time. This is what you can probably expect in Genshin Impact. But again, you know, we don't know. We really don't know. The final thing that I want to talk about this for, you know, this to wrap up this prediction video slash thoughts, discussions, my experience, is the final thing we do know that's coming. And that is Horizon Zero Dawn collaboration, bringing Aloy into the game. So a lot of people are excited about this. Aloy is going to be a 5-star character, I believe, she's going to be cryo, and obviously a bow user. So a lot of people already knew this. Paimon posted this on the Twitter a long time ago, and a lot of people were excited. The thing is that Aloy is actually going to be a PlayStation exclusive until a future version update, which is why I'm to believe that Inazuma storyline will actually conclude in version 2.2. My idea of it ending in 2.3 is really pushing it. I'm not sure if they'll really go through with that, and I fear that, it'll be too much filler in between that story. When you're trying to move a story forward, but you're filling it up with too much stuff. Act 1 almost felt like filler, but you have to understand that that's how world building works, and for you to really get immersed into the story. I'm gonna dive away from the Alloy topic for just a second here. So remember how we first came into Inazuma. What is our first thoughts? We need to go see the Electro Archon. I need to go ask them about 500 years ago, information about my brother, and we're still looking for information about the unknown god. So our sights, after what we experienced with our twin being with the Abyss, the whole thing with Dainsleif, finding out about the 500 years ago, the fall of Conria, we're out for answers now. Now we have a better direction of where to go, what questions to ask, and who to seek out. We know where we're going. So when the character, the main traveler, enters Inazuma, their first thought is, we need to go find the Electro Archon. We need to go and find answers. We need answers. We immediately run into trouble because the current situation in Inazuma is that it's currently closed down. The Vision Hunter Kree is in place. So, Vision Wielders are not having a good time, and even Outlanders are not having a good time in Inazuma in general with how restrictive things are, and making a living, making money is not easy right now in Inazuma. The main traveler was immediately set up with the one directly under the Kamisato clan, Ayaka's personal retainer, Toma. And from there, we do a bunch of little side quests, for him to help us out to get out of Rito and whatnot. But at the end, we don't meet up to his expectations, and he wants to continue testing us. So we're left to our own devices to find out a way to get out of Rito ourselves. And thankfully, we do. But even when we finally are about to meet Ayaka, she's still hiding behind the screen because there's still like that whole protective thing, like, oh, we know you have some merits to you, but we need to see you actually deliver. So then, we have to go do other things to continue to prove ourselves, the 3 people that lost their visions, talk to them, learn about them, so that we can be fully invested in what's happening in Inazuma. So now the mission changed. Now it's like, no, we need to change things here. So I just wanted to give you a bit of an understanding of what's filler and what's considered world building, something that pays off later in the end. Like, if we didn't learn about what it means to lose a vision, it would have no weight, really, for people like, yes, you lose a vision, now you can use powers. Okay, but you can still live your daily life, you can still make money, you're not affected by losing a vision. That's what Act 1 introduced us to. What happens to people that lose a vision so strong that having their vision taken away in that manner actually affects their whole psyche, their persona. They lose themselves, they lose their memories, they go mad, or they just wander aimlessly like a lost soul, almost akin to a zombie. So it was very important that we did get introduced to that in the first act. So I know a lot of people probably thought it was like, filler, where's the action? I also wanted the action to start off in Act 1, I'm not gonna lie, but I definitely appreciated learning about what happened and what happens when you lose a vision, because again, that weight has to pay off. We need to understand why it's important, why people lose their visions, what happens when they do, why should I care? At the end of the day is, why should I care that this random individual lost their vision? I just want to go fight the Archon or do something to progress the story right now. Why should we care? Well, world building. That's what it is. Getting introduced to the situation in Inazuma. Right now, Inazuma is currently a war theme, as there is currently a war going on with the Sangonomiya rebels and the Tenryou Commission forces, the Shogunate's army. But enough of that. I just wanted to get you introduced as to what basically is filler, what is not filler, world building and whatnot. Back to the Alloy business. So that's a game that I do technically currently own, but I have not played before. So Alloy, Horizon Zero Dawn, the new game is coming out on the PlayStation 5. This one will be a PlayStation exclusive. And I believe it's coming out in PlayStation version 2.1 and version 2.2 for PC and mobile users. This actually had some people very upset, especially PC players, because like, I'm not sure how really, I understand the frustration. There's not much I can say about that. I grew up in the era of, playing on PlayStation 3, not really having an Xbox 360 until like the later years of the Xbox. And I understand that consoles had this whole console exclusivity to them. And back then, I was much younger, I didn't really understand what that whole thing meant. but it was the major one I remember was Call of Duty. Call of Duty would always get the things on Xbox first, PlayStation later. Now you have Halo. Halo can only be played on the Xbox, and I think now on PC, when they released it for PC as well, you can't play that on PlayStation. Horizon, you can play on PlayStation, you can't play that on the Xbox. I think you can play it on PC though now. So now PC is kind of like getting in to some of these console games and whatnot. They used to be only console exclusive, but it's like, hey, if you have a good PC, go ahead, pop in this game. Final Fantasy 16, I think that's also coming out on the PC, as well as for PlayStation. I don't remember, I think it should be coming out for Xbox now. I think that was another thing. Final Fantasy games were never on the Xbox until recently. Same thing for Kingdom Hearts. So I'm just talking about this. I grew up experiencing console exclusivity. Am I defending it, saying that it's right? No, not really. I'm just saying that I'm not affected by that so much. I have a PlayStation, so I really don't have to worry about it. But I did, if you guys know my recent situation, I did have to move away from the PlayStation because I wasn't having a good time in Genshin Impact. Yes, I survived 6-7 months in Genshin Impact on the PlayStation 4, but it was not the best experience. On the PC, everything's finally changed. I don't have a PlayStation 5, so, you know, there's that. I couldn't really move over to the PlayStation 5 since I don't have one. But yeah, a lot of people are upset about the exclusivity, but the thing is, you can still get Aloy, and you can still get her weapon. The one thing that's exclusive, and I mean, they just really had to stick this in there as being very exclusive, the exclusivity feature. The one thing that stays exclusive is the weapon's effect. Now, we do see this as well with the wings that you get in the game. That's solely exclusive for PlayStation, and the weapon as well. While I think you do get the weapon when you move over to the PC, the effects of that weapon also stays just to PlayStation. So when you game on PlayStation, you can use the weapon to its fullest ability, to its fullest extent. So people are upset about the exclusivity thing, but you know, Aloy, a lot of people are still excited. Excited, frustrated, confused, all that jammed in together. That's the whole collaboration done. So what's this say for the future of other collaborations? Because it's just kind of, for me, I feel like it came out of nowhere. Like Horizon Zero Dawn out of nowhere. Like, what was there any build up to this? Did I miss out on something? Like, it was just when they introduced, like, you know, the new characters that were coming out, they finally gave us like a full image and whatnot. Then we got Aloy, then we got the weapon, and I'm like, is this a leak? I don't know what's going on here. So yeah, I was kind of like confused at that as well. But yeah, I think this video has gone on long enough, and I really am sorry for keeping you here this long. This was solely going to be like a 10-minute video, and I still have to do that other video that I wanted to talk about regarding future characters and the banners and what to expect, really, because there's something that I caught on to, and I'm not sure if they're going to continue this trend or will things change from now on, right? And I also do want to talk about my experience with version 2.0 of Genshin Impact in general, but that's going to have to be saved for a different video. So I think I'm going to wrap it up here. We talked about first the obvious predictions and, you know, what's to expect in that version 2.1 trailer. New banners in 2.1, new events in 2.1, and the new Archon quest, plus the expansion of the map in Inazuma. Then we talked about how the live stream will be presented. I personally believe that it's going to be Dawei doing the presentation again, maybe with a different team. He had for the 2.0 presentation, he had a different team with him. Maybe he's going to bring up new faces so we can actually meet the rest of the developers, and they're going to talk more in depth of what they're, you know, what to expect in 2.1, music, the scenery. I really enjoyed that for 2.0. I was like, I know most of my reaction was like I was cutting it up, but I was really just taking that all in, and I was being really appreciated because they're doing a good job with this. Genshin Impact is turning out to be a really amazing game, and it's going to be with us for the long run. And of course, I brought up the topic of the anniversary, what to expect. I gave you also my experience with gacha games and how I've never experienced anniversaries in gacha games. Ooh, one other one that I actually did play was Pokemon Masters. I believe that's also kind of like a gacha game. I'm not sure, or it has like a stamina system to it as well. I don't really remember, but that one I did have fun with a lot when it came out, but I kind of just stopped. It never keeps me hooked. It never keeps me interested. Genshin Impact is the only one since I picked it up in October, late October, Klee banner, to now. I've never really like lost interest. And then we finally concluded with the Horizon Zero Dawn collaboration, which I didn't see really any build up. I don't really keep up with the news too much of like Genshin Impact. Only now am I really keeping up with the Twitter account to keep up with announcements and whatnot, but I honestly felt like this announcement came out of nowhere. Like, really, a collaboration with Alloy? Like, man, not even the leakers could freaking come out with this, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, guys, I'm sorry for really keeping you here long. For those of you that made it this long, bless you. Bless you all, and I really do appreciate all the support I've been getting. I know my channel has hit kind of like a slow side since I did finish the main Archon quest, but I do still have videos working in the background that I do plan to release in the coming week because I am going on a short vacation. So really, I was just trying to get as much content done so that I can start releasing this. So obviously you're seeing this one right now before that content is released, and obviously before version 2.1 is released. I hope so, at least. If you're watching this after that, well, thank you for stopping by, and I guess you wanted to check what I got right, what I got wrong, or you just want to call me stupid or whatever. It's totally fine. Guys, remember to hit that like button if you enjoyed, dislike if you disliked it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. I mean, most likely, I know leaks are out there. I don't look at the leaks, but I'll still be paying attention to the comments. Don't worry. If you decide you want to post spoilers down there, I mean, I won't really pay any mind to it because I'm not going to know. Like, how am I supposed to know that what you posted is a spoiler if I don't go and verify it, you know? That's, some people get tricked by that. It's like, wait a minute, does this person really die? Let me go check. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I just spoiled myself, you know? But yeah, in regards to that, it's all good. Subscribe if you're new here. Look forward to more Genshin Impact videos coming out soon. Next video coming out will be character banners in the future. A certain trend I picked up on, and what to expect in the future of that. Look forward to that, guys. It is BlackwingKei, and I'm signing out. Bye.